The following is a DW Ancient Egypt production. Pharaoh Hotepsekhemwy resolved the conflict that ended the first dynasty of Egypt and reigned for approximately 30 years. His name has been interpreted to mean two powerful ones are at peace, possibly referencing the actions he took to resolve the clash between the two princes of the first dynasty. However, this interpretation is disputed because his name appears on the entranceway of the tomb of King Ka, who ruled before the alleged civil war of the princes. While details of his reign remain unclear, it seems that Hotepsekhemwy ruled during a challenging period of unrest in the country. While he managed to maintain control over his kingdom, there appears to have been little, if any, expansion, as his efforts were primarily focused on internal difficulties. The exact nature of these challenges is unknown, but they likely resolved around a conflict between Upper Egypt's control of Lower Egypt. During the reign of Hotepsekhemwy, an early form of the solar god, Netjer-akhti, meaning the god of the horizon, was worshipped. The name of Hotepsekhemwy's successor, Nebra, which means Ra is the master, may demonstrate the new dynasty's support of the solar god, whose cult was centered at Heliopolis, to the northeast of Memphis. The king's position in society was grounded in Egyptian views about the world. The king's duties included the support of the cults in temples, and his powers derived partly from his identification with the god Horus. In order for these concepts to work on a countrywide level, there had to exist a view of the gods that was valid throughout Egypt. Most gods had a strong connection to one specific town that in historical periods often housed their main temple. It is certain that the many associations went back to prehistoric times, and scholars assumed that almost all cults were originally local. But in the early dynastic period, there existed a unified Egyptian pantheon. Some scholars argue that the unification of Egypt led to an ideological merging of local systems, while others think that already in pre-dynastic times, the regional pantheons existed within a system that transcended political boundaries. It is difficult, if not impossible, for us to understand how ancient Egyptians perceived gods and related to them. It is clear, however, that their attitudes differed from those of believers in Abrahamic religions, not only because the Egyptian pantheon knew numerous deities rather than one god, but also because the Egyptian gods were natural forces and could be terrifying characters that needed to be appeased. Families and communities had their preferred deities, and often selected those for reasons that escape us. In our study of Egyptian religion, we have to remember that the abundant remains involving gods and goddesses available to us are almost exclusively from the official sphere and set up on behalf of the court. Personal religious feelings are nearly never accessible to us. The art and texts of the early dynastic period refer to gods attested throughout Egyptian history, although it is unlikely that they had the same definition as in later times. When the evidence is clearer, we encounter Horus and Seth connected to kingship, and the cow goddess Hathor to fertility and women. Throughout Egyptian history, the annals report that the king visited their shrines or dedicated statues to them, and some archaeological remains of early temples exist. There must have been official ideas about their relationships and areas of competence that differed from pre-dynastic times, and officially sponsored gods gradually displaced local ones. The newly established court formulated national concepts that included the temple and the divine statue. The later official Egyptian temple contained a limited set of small roofed rooms to house the divine statue, which one reached by crossing one or more courtyards, some open, others with columns that supported a roof. In Egyptian prehistory, there was no uniform style of temple. However, the cults could focus on an earthen mound or a stone boulder, for example. The new form thus had to supplant existing customs.